Did you know walking is better than running if you're trying to lose weight? I know, sounds super strange. You'd obviously burn more calories running, right? Well, not so fast. Your body may actually compensate for a lot of the calories you burn when running by burning fewer calories on other tasks, meaning you're likely burning way fewer extra calories than you think. I'll explain more about that and other reasons that make walking better than running for weight loss in this video. Plus, how much you should be walking in order to lose weight and how to avoid a very common mistake when walking for weight loss. This mistake alone can completely ruin two of the biggest benefits of walking, and it's such a common mistake. So let's get to it. In case you don't know me, I'm Ingunn, a Norwegian Viking and researcher sharing no BS science-based tips on losing weight naturally without suffering in the process. Subscribe to my channel and make sure to click that bell button to be notified when I post new no BS videos on weight loss. Now let's talk about calories, because like I mentioned, you're probably thinking that running is going to help you burn more calories than walking, right? Okay, so there are several things to consider here. For one, how many calories you burn during an activity comes down to both the intensity and the duration. So since walking is less intense, we're going to have to spend more time walking to burn the same amount of calories. Though before you say you're too busy for that, let's take a look at what the difference really is like. Now, unless you go running regularly, I'm going to assume that you're probably not going to be running for an hour straight. And unless you're running for only a few minutes, I'm going to assume that you're probably not going to be running either, but rather more like jogging. So, according to this compendium of physical activities, which is like a database for calculating energy expenditure for different activities, if you weigh, let's say, 170 pounds and you go jogging for 30 minutes, and that means you're actually jogging the whole time, you'll burn 269 calories. Now let's say you go walking instead, what this compendium calls walking for pleasure. Again, let's assume you weigh 170 pounds and you go walking for 30 minutes. Then you'll burn 135 calories. Though if you walked for an hour, you'd actually burn the same number of calories as jogging for 30 minutes. Namely 269 calories. Okay, these values are obviously estimates and will depend on how fast you walk, run, jog, and whether you're walking or running on flat surfaces, etc. Though still, which do you think you'd enjoy more? Having to jog for 30 minutes straight, or going for a pleasant walk for 1 hour? I know which one I'd prefer, at least. And when it comes to amount of time we spend, I think for most of us, if we were to go jogging for 30 minutes, we'd probably have to take breaks. So the whole thing would probably take more than 30 minutes anyway. And that's of course something to consider if you're thinking that you simply don't have time to walk for an hour and would that rather choose jogging because you can burn the same number of calories in less amount of time. Well, altogether, maybe not. Now, since we're talking about calories, did you know that physical activity is actually a very small part of the number of calories you burn on a daily basis? Only about 20 to 30%, and exercise in particular maybe even less. This is something that surprises a lot of people, especially since so many weight loss programs focus on exercise. Though when you look at it like this, it shows how few calories exercise actually adds. And not only that, your body doesn't really like to burn extra calories, so it often tries to conserve energy. And it's found that if you exercise, your body may compensate for calories you burn during your exercise by lowering your basal metabolic rate, meaning your body tries to reduce the amount of extra calories burned by spending less energy on other tasks. And according to this study, overweight people compensate more, even as much as 49%. Meaning only about half the calories you think you're burning extra by exercising may actually count. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel. And click that bell button to be notified when I post new no BS videos on weight loss. And for lots more weight loss tips, follow me on Instagram at VikingIngunn. So, only about half the calories you think you're burning extra by exercising may actually count. Ouch! Seems like such a waste, right? You put in all that effort to burn calories that in the end didn't add up to much at all. Well, the good news is that there are other great benefits of staying active even when it comes to weight loss, which I'll get back to. Though more than that, if you think about it, exercising might not add that much to your calories out. However, your diet is 100% of your calories in, and the specific foods you choose can even affect your metabolism and how many calories you burn. So looking at it like this, it just makes sense that in order to lose weight, our focus should really be on the diet, right? And as it turns out, you don't even need to exercise at all in order to lose weight. Now, being active is still a great thing, even for weight loss. For example, when it comes to our hormones. I'll get back to that shortly, though first, let's look at 3 other important reasons why running may not be the best activity if you're trying to lose weight. And then we'll look at why walking specifically is a much better activity. Here's the thing. Running or jogging can actually be a catabolic activity in the sense that you may end up losing muscle mass. I mean, just look at marathon runners. They have very little muscle mass compared to how much they actually exercise. Why does that matter if you're trying to lose weight? Because muscles increase your basal metabolic rate. And muscles love to burn fat specifically even while you're resting. Now, increasing your muscle mass would of course be great in this sense, though most importantly, we don't want to do activities that can end up decreasing our muscle mass if we're trying to lose weight, because we want to keep our metabolism as high as possible. And speaking of metabolism, did you know that stress can increase the hormone cortisol, which is specifically related to belly fat? Check out my previous video for why you should pay special attention to the hormone cortisol in case you're carrying around excess belly fat. Now, when it comes to running, it's an activity that's much more stressful on the body than walking. So it's more likely to increase cortisol, which over time can lead to a slower metabolism and make it more difficult to lose weight. Again, check out my previous video for more on that. I'll link to it in the description. On top of this, running can easily increase our hunger, and likely more than if we just go for a pleasant walk. And if you go running in order to burn extra calories and it leads you to eat more afterwards, it totally beats the point, doesn't it? I mean, the 269 calories that we calculated earlier, that's not even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's like only half a bar of milk chocolate. And we often feel like we deserve a little extra if we put in a lot of effort to go running, right? Now, you could of course ignore your hunger and just not eat more, though that just makes the whole exercising in order to lose weight thing even more miserable of an experience, right? Again, you do not need to exercise in order to lose weight, though still staying active can have some great benefits. For example, one study found that people who participated in a walking program lost more weight, especially fat, and it had a positive effect on insulin, which is a key hormone when it comes to body fat, compared with people who did the same diet though without the walking program. And note that their basal metabolic rate was not very different from those not doing the walking program. Of course, to know for sure, we'd have to do a longer study because it can take some time for the body to adapt, though it looks promising. And not only that, remember what I mentioned about stress earlier, that it may actually lower our metabolism and make it more difficult to lose weight? Well, not only is walking less stressful on the body than running, it may even help us de-stress. I mean, it can be such a pleasant activity and a way to relax the mind and think about something other than all the stressful things going on in your life. I, for one, love to go on walks, especially out in nature. It just puts a smile on my face every time. So it's actually something I look forward to as opposed to dreading or having to convince myself to go for a run. Plus, walking is something anyone can do. It's such a low impact activity. It's easy on the joints and something we can do pretty much anywhere, anytime. You don't need workout clothes, you don't need a gym, you don't need to get all sweaty. You can even go for walks in your 10-minute breaks at work. This all makes walking one of the easiest, well, probably the easiest activity to stick to. Now, before we talk about how much you should be walking in order to lose weight, and a common mistake people make that can totally ruin 2 of the biggest benefits of walking, let's quickly summarize the main points of why walking is better than running for weight loss. Walking is less likely to decrease your metabolism. It may even be less likely to increase your hunger. It can increase your calories out without a lot of added stress. In fact, it's a way to de-stress, which in itself can help with weight loss. It's also a pleasant activity. It can be done almost anywhere, anytime, and it's easy to stick to. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, who's up for a walk today? Comment below, I'm walking today, if you're up for a walk today. So how much should you be walking if you want to lose weight? Well, that brings us right to that mistake people make when including walking as part of their weight loss efforts. Let's say you decide to walk 10,000 steps every day. Sounds like a great goal. On day 1, you might reach your 10,000 steps goal, and maybe even on day 2, 3, 4. But then you have a really long and stressful day at work, and some other life stuff happens that make it difficult to get those steps in. So you come in short, and that doesn't feel so great. Though you tell yourself that tomorrow you'll do better. Tomorrow you'll do your 10,000 steps and even a bit more to make up for what you didn't do today. Though this can only go on for so long before you end up with more and more days where you fall short. And every time you fall short, you feel bad. You're failing, and it's discouraging. It can even make the whole idea of walking stressful because you feel like you need to do it and you keep falling short. And eventually you naturally stop, because you're not reaching your 10,000 steps a day goal, and it ends up feeling more like a chore and something you're failing at rather than the pleasant activity that it can be. The point here is that if we set a goal that's not realistic, we may end up ruining two of the biggest benefits when it comes to walking for weight loss. Namely that it's a way to de-stress, and it's an activity that's easy to stick to. And this is such a common mistake because in the beginning we feel super motivated and think that the more the better. So we set a really high goal thinking that we're gonna give it our all. But then life happens and we end up with what I just described. So a better way is to start by setting a goal that you know is doable, one you know you can make happen. For example, start with 3,000 steps a day and see how it goes. Or it can even be a different goal for different days depending on your schedule. And for those days when you feel like you can do more, then go right ahead. Reach your goal and see how much more you can do. That's a great motivational booster. And with time, if you see that it's doable, try increasing your goal little by little. And if you don't reach your goal one day, that's fine. You don't need to punish yourself the next day by doing a lot more. All you need is to get back on track. This way you can always view walking as a pleasant activity. And like I said, you don't need to do it all at once either. You can go for short walks during your breaks at work, or before work or after work. Maybe you can go for a walk with your friend instead of chatting over the phone. And if you have a dog, I'm sure you'll have great company. Or you can listen to some music or a podcast, or just spend time enjoying the moment. Remember, your diet is what drives weight loss, so don't think you're not going to be able to lose weight if you don't get your steps in. Walking or any other activity that you enjoy and that doesn't add too much stress on the body can be a great addition, though the most important thing is your diet. And remember, it's not only about the number of calories you consume. The specific foods you eat can affect both your satiety and your metabolism as well. If you'd like help losing weight without having to suffer through a lot of cardio or even a low-calorie diet, then you'd probably be a great fit for my 90-day Slim by Science weight loss program, where you may eat to satiety and you don't even need to exercise. It's based on science, though with a down-to-earth, step-by-step approach with personal support for natural and effective weight loss. If you'd like to know more, head over to slimbyScience.com. I'll put the link in the description. Now, who's up for a pleasant walk? Share this video with a friend you'd like to go on a walk with. And comment below, I'm walking today, if you're going for a walk today. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you click the thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.